In recent years, we've seen a number of high-profile crimes that have captured the attention of the public. From murder cases to kidnappings, these crimes can often seem like they're too complex to be solved by anyone other than trained law enforcement professionals. However, there have been a number of instances where normal people have played a crucial role in solving major crimes. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at top major crimes solved by normal people. Yeah, you heard it right. Number 10. Margaret Davis solves her son's murder. Undoubtedly, a mother's love might be the greatest love of all. In July 2002, gunmen killed English software programmer Stephen Davis in his Makati, Philippines apartment. Margaret, his mother, suspected that Evelyn, her son's wife, was involved in his death. Margaret spent tens of thousands of dollars on a private investigator as the police probe languished and eventually went cold. The police re-examined the case after Margaret's inquiry yielded substantial evidence. Number 9. Jessica Maple and the burglars. After her deceased great-grandmother's home was burglarized and practically all of its furniture was stolen, 12-year-old Jessica Maple solved the case by uncovering crucial clues that the police entirely overlooked. When she returned to the crime scene with her mother, Jessica discovered smashed garage windows coated in several fingerprints. Despite the officer's conclusion that the burglar must have used a key to enter the home, her investigation also uncovered the missing fortune at a nearby pawn shop, where the proprietor recognized the guys who had brought it there. Miss Maple did not end her actions there. Number 8. Car enthusiasts solve a hit and run. In April 2012, when 57-year-old Betty Wheeler was killed by a hit-and-run driver, the readership of the motor blog Jalopnik was put to the ultimate test of their extensive car knowledge. Police published a photo of a small piece of metal that they suspected had broken off the truck during the incident in the hopes of receiving assistance from the online community, and the Jalopnik readers responded immediately. They attached the metal to a Ford F-150 pickup from the early 2000s in a matter of hours. Number 7. Yakov German tracks down a kidnapper and killer. Young Libby Kletsky's disappearance caused shockwaves through his Orthodox Jewish New York community. Yakov German, a property manager who took it upon himself to locate the missing youngster, undoubtedly felt these waves. Using security footage from stores and residences along Libby's school path, Yakov followed Libby's movements. Libby was picked up by Levi Aaron, a man from the same neighborhood, as seen on a surveillance film from a car leasing firm. Yakov's efforts brought law enforcement to the criminal. Sadly, upon Aaron's arrest, only skeletal remains were discovered. Number 6. A Klansman gets his comeuppance. Charles Eddie Moore and Henry Hezekiah D., two 19-year-old African-American students in Mississippi, were abducted and drowned by KKK members in 1964. The police investigation was allegedly compromised by their bias, and the case was closed a few months later. Thomas Moore, Moore's brother, joined forces with the documentary filmmaker some 40 years later. The perpetrator of the murders, James Ford Seal, who was previously declared dead, was located. Number 5. Celia Blay catches an internet predator. William Melker Dinkle, a 47-year-old Minnesotan registered nurse, routinely disguised as a lady in her 20s in online chat rooms. He urged despondent young adults to commit suicide. Sometimes for his personal viewing pleasure, Celia Blay, an English senior citizen, uncovered William's plot. Blay engaged in online communication with a teenager and discovered that Williams was intimidating her. Celia established a plan with the adolescent and was able to gather evidence against William, which she used to persuade U.S. authorities to file charges. Number 4. Bradley Willman and the predatory judge. In the late 1990s, Canadian private investigator Bradley Willman created a Trojan horse disguised as an image file, which he then posted on various predator-frequented websites. After downloading the file, he had complete access to the victim's PC. This allowed him to sift through their emails and other papers, and subsequently provide vital information to watchdog organizations. His efforts ended in the arrest of California Superior Court Judge Ronald Klein, whose computer contained an excess of damning evidence. Klein was disbarred and given a 27-month prison sentence. Number 3. The murder of Abraham Shakespeare. Unfortunately, Abraham Shakespeare's difficulties began with his $30 million lottery prize. He co-founded a private corporation with Doris D.D. Moore, who assumed responsibility for his funds. A few months later, Moore murdered Shakespeare and buried him behind her home beneath a concrete slab. As interest in the case grew, members of the internet crime site Web Sleuths began investigating. Moore had created a phony account on the internet in order to deflect attention away from herself. Number 2. Michelle McNamara's hunt for the Golden State Killer. At least 13 individuals were murdered by Joseph James D'Angelo, infamously known as the Golden State Killer. Nonetheless, the search for his identification would claim one more life: Michelle McNamara. McNamara, a writer of true crime, grew up interested by unsolved mysteries and eventually focused on a series of cold cases that occurred in California during the 1970s and 1980s. Her persistent investigation yielded enough evidence to fill a library. To cope with the stress, she began using a combination of prescription medications, which ultimately led to her unintended death. Number 1. The murder of Jun Lin. Before this case became about the death of Jun Lin, it centered on 2 Facebook videos depicting an unidentified man committing acts of animal cruelty. The individual depicted in the film was identified as Luca Magnotta by a group of web detectives. Later, Magnotta enticed Canadian University student Lin to his residence, where he murdered him, and released the video to the internet. The squad of sleuths was able to link this film to those involving animals and provide the authorities with their findings. After several weeks, Magnotta was detained. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.